Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 14368 Southeast Lee Avenue. This will be, I'll refer to this one as the rear building, rearmost. We're on the back side of it here, dropping into a 4-inch cast iron cleanout. I'm going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Alright, we are zeroed out. Right now I do not have water currently running. I will likely introduce water to the line here in just a moment. These are actively lived-in homes, so water goes down them frequently. Okay, so you've got a Y connection here. My assumption is that there is some kind of main lateral on property, because we have a Y in right here. That is something to look into, though, as to whether or not that is the case. Party lines in this part of town are fairly uncommon. They do exist, but they're quite rare. I've cameraed probably, oh my gosh, 750 plus homes in Milwaukee. The party line scenario is quite uncommon, but it is something you want to look into to make sure you don't have something funky like that going on here. Otherwise, the cast iron leading up to this point here is actually functioning very nicely. It's clean, flows well, it drains off completely. All right, so this is kind of a tricky location here to locate. I can get fairly close to it, but not right on top of this spot. And I'll show with the camera here when I pull it out here in just a moment. And where this is at, the line just about runs right up the this divider fence back here. So that pipe that this is connecting into does not look like it's doing super great. You can see there the amount of debris buildup in that line does not look like it's flowing terribly well. And the problem is, well, it's one of those lines that, you know, being that it's probably a city main or a community line, that's not something I'm going to go pushing into, especially being that it's that loaded up. I won't be able to see hardly anything. That's the kind of thing that generally requires jetting to get a proper look at it. But main laterals are not super uncommon when they in backyards. Usually there's some kind of easement in place for it. So that's the reason why you want to contact the city and find out if they show record of a city main back here, or if this could potentially be some kind of party line scenario. And if it is a party line, find out whether or not they're okay with it existing this way. So again, this is the rearmost building on the property. That's as you face into the property from the street from Southeast Lee. We're on the back side of this home here. Where I locate, if you walk over to the fence, right where this divider fence here meets the back fencing, you'll see a green paint marking on the ground just past that little tree there. So it's really hard to tell with all this stuff right there between the tree and the fencing. I can't get my locator oriented properly, but it looks like the line is shooting right through that fence. What I can't tell, because of how awkward it is to locate, is whether or not that line that we're tying onto there, if that's running left to right or right to left across the back fence line, or if we're actually just shooting through the fence line, tying into something else, heading off that direction. Anyway, all the pipe leading up to that point there, the cast iron, it's basically solid cast iron all the way up to it, except for a little bit of a concrete stub. Everything up to that point flows off very nicely. There's zero standing water in the line. There was a little scrap of toilet paper. That's something that just went down the sewer line. That's not unexpected to see some level of debris in the line. But it would be worth finding out what the deal is with that piece of pipe there, and whether or not that is something that's a city main or some kind of community line, party line, something like that. Whatever it is, if it is a city line, I would forward the video on to them, because that line there is just loading up full of debris. It's when you start getting that much stuff, that's where you run your risk of getting some kind of blockage and backup out of the main lateral. But everything leading up to it, spotless clean. I don't see any obvious signs of blockages that have happened here recently, as the cast iron pipe leading up to that Y connection there is very, very clean.